Hello and welcome to Sent You a Message, and I'll hope you'll join me in extending a very warm welcome to our brand new host, Isaac Clarke, protagonist of EA's survival sci-fi horror, Dead Space 2. It's great to have you on board, Isaac. I mean, I'm really grateful that you've taken time out from battling necromorphs in space to join us here on the couch. Well, on to our first question. Isaac? Oh, you're so great, Isaac. Andy would never come up with anything like that.
Hello.
Hi.
What's all this? Why is Isaac Clarke from Dead Space 2 here? What's going on?
Well, you know, he's our new co-host now. The format's getting a bit stale, and I thought Isaac here, mix things up a bit.
Were you going to tell me about this at any point?
I assumed you'd find out eventually, but, you have now, so it's all worked out great.
What was all that about?
Damn. He does this a lot. He has visions of his girlfriend or something. He might be gone a while.
I'll just fill in then, shall I, for him?
I suppose. Right, our next question is from Dano Campbell, who...
Consider Dano as a nickname yourself?
No, and he asks...
Like Danny.
No, and his question is...
Danny with two eyes on the end.
No, anyway, this question is about...
Looks nice.
Can we just answer the question, please? Abe's Odyssey. It's about Abe's Odyssey.
Ah, yeah. There's good news here, actually, as it seems that we could be seeing some new Oddworldery soon. Lorne Lanning, co-founder and president of the Oddworld series developer Oddworld Inhabitants, has told Electronic Gaming Monthly in the States that developer Just Add Water is working on an HD remake of the 1997 classic Abe's Odyssey.
Now, Abe's Odyssey was a side-scrolling puzzle platformer where you play the eponymous Abe, a sort of alien Spartacus who escapes captivity and has to rescue other enslaved members of his race, the Mudokons.
It's extremely fondly remembered by those who were around that long ago when video game systems ran on coal and were the only alternative to promenading around in a circle at the assembly rooms, and our alliterative chum Lanning is keen to stress that the old-school game design will still be very much present. It's basically Abe's Odyssey being redone in a 3D physics engine as a 2D side-scrolling platformer, he told EGM. It's like, can we make that experience in a new engine with new tech, but in the old way?
So, good news for Mudokon fans. There's no word on release date or how it will be distributed yet, but this is definitely one we'll be keeping our eye on.
One Bad Biscuit once beat up a cookie so badly that it had to have an artificial chip replacement, but he's a reformed character now and is more bothered about saving Earth from giant ants. Until that fateful day on June 2012 arrives, however, he wants to know if there'll be a sequel to Earth Defense Force 2017 so he can get prepared for the invasion.
EDF! EDF! EDF!
Yes, very good.
EDF! EDF!
Silence!
EDF!
Yeah, right. Earth Defense Force 2017 is a true cult favourite on Xbox 360, pitting man against massive bugs in what appears to be a life-size Godzilla set. As its origins as a budget title in its native Japan imply, it doesn't have the high production values of its peers, but it does have an incredibly satisfying destruction, chaotic action, huge array of weapons, odd, barely controllable vehicles, and, as Dan is clearly fond of, endearingly terrible English voiceovers.
Look at that! It's a real flying saucer!
He's right, I love it. The fantastic news that a sequel is on its way, and as its title, Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon, suggests, its creators aren't really tampering with the formula. What we do know is that you'll now have a selection of 4 different armour types, including a jetpack variant that makes a triumphant return from EDF 2017's precursor, Global Defense Force. There are now over 300 weapons, double that of the last game, including the spectacular pesticide guns shown here, and it appears that certain gun types are best matched to certain armour types.
Local split-screen play is still supported for 2 players, but that pales in comparison to the 3-player online campaign and 6-player survival modes, the latter of which pits you against endless waves of oversized garden pests. There's no release date yet, but the good news is that Namco Bandai has picked it up for Europe while D3 is publishing it in the States.
Yeah, I know. Great news, isn't it? We should have these guys in more often.
EDF! EDF! EDF!
That is annoying, isn't it?
EDF!
Can you give it a rest, please?
EDF!
I'll make it stop.
You have to speak to them in a language they understand.
No, shut up!
Much better.
Mr. Jate II continues the noble tradition of his father, Mr. Jate I, by asking if there will ever be a Timesplitters 4. Now, we get this a lot, so we thought we'd update you on the current status of the Timesplitters franchise.
But what is the Timesplitters franchise, Andy? I remain unaware of why a fourth game is a good idea.
Well, that seems unlikely, but okay. The Timesplitters games are a series of first-person shooters developed by Free Radical Design, made up of a lot of the team behind GoldenEye and Perfect Dark on the N64. As suggested by the title, time travel was a big feature of the games, with you battling across time periods as diverse as the Wild West, Prohibition-era Chicago, and the distant future, using weapons ranging from a sci-fi plasma rifle to a blunderbuss to a brick.
A brick?
Possibly a futuristic plasma brick.
Ooh, sci-fi.
Anyway, Timesplitters 4 was in development for over a year, but Free Radical Design went into administration in 2008 and was bought by German developer Crytek, who renamed it Crytek UK, and set them to work on the multiplayer elements of the soon-to-be-released Crysis 2.
Right, however, Timesplitters 4 looks like it might still be on the agenda in the future. Crytek's boss, Savat Yerli, speaking to website computerandvideogames.com this week, said that Crytek has been discussing it, but nothing has been decided yet, so let's see after Crysis 2. So does that mean if Crysis 2 does really well, they'll make a Timesplitters 4?
Possibly, but then they might just go straight to Crysis 3, so maybe Crysis 2 needs to do really badly and then they'll make Timesplitters.
Oh, I'm so confused. What should I do?
Just give me all your money and I'll sort it out for you.
Oh, phew, thanks. Oh, I was really worried there for a moment. Nick Pavier, our potential saviour and friend of Charles Xavier, was on his best behaviour when he politely asked us if Ubisoft's Uplay service is ever going to leave its beta phase as he drove past in his Skoda Octavia.
It's pronounced Octavia.
Oh. Well, Nick, we contacted our friends at Ubisoft who put together a series of words to form what's commonly known as a statement. Their exact series of words is as follows. Ubisoft launched Uplay as a beta because we have the intention of adding more and better services to it. We're live now with Uplay Win and Uplay Help, and we plan to soon add Uplay Share and Uplay Shop. We've not set a specific date for taking it out of beta phase, but once we feel that we've got all of our basic services up and running, that's when we'll make that call.
Now, if you're not familiar with Uplay, it's an online service exclusive to Ubisoft titles that provides, amongst other things, downloadable rewards in exchange for units, Uplay's own currency. Accruing units is simply a matter of earning select achievements and can be spent on a variety of goodies, from bonus in-game items and areas to new dashboard themes and gamer picks. Uplay is consistent across all compatible Ubisoft titles, meaning that units picked up in, say, Assassin's Creed 2 could be used to purchase swag in Splinter Cell Conviction or Ruse.
Yep, what he said. We're pretty sure that Ubi will make a song and dance about Uplay, perhaps literally once the service is complete, but for now the underlying message appears to be it's done when it's done. A bit like Duke Nukem Forever, but without a 12-year wait, hopefully. Hurricane69 has an appointment with disappointment as he's asking about the new Pirates of the Caribbean game.
You must be referring to Pirates of the Caribbean Armada of the Damned, an open-world pirate game similar to the Fable series, where your pirate would become legendary or dreaded depending on your swashbuckling actions.
Oh, that sounds amazing. When's it out?
Yeah, it's not. It's been cancelled.
Oh.
Well, while it's not the same thing at all, there is still some piratey hope in the form of LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, which we've mentioned on a previous show.
Yeah, we've finally got a glimpse of how the game will look with a teaser trailer that recreates Jack Sparrow's arrival into Port Royal in typical LEGO fashion, i.e. he destroys everything and then looks a bit embarrassed about it.
While it's still sticking pretty closely to the tried and tested LEGO formula of platforming and puzzle solving, it's looking like LEGO Pirates will have enough dramatic sword fighting, ship battles and madcap chases through the rigging and holds of imposing galleons to keep any pirate fan happy.
It's due out in May to coincide with the release of the hopefully not awful fourth film, so not too long to wait now for some adorable adventures on the high seas. Ben Brewer, who fights crime with the aid of fruit preserves under the moniker Jammy X Ben, wants to know if there'll be a sequel to Twisted Pixel's volatile platformer Splosion Man.
Well, while Twisted Pixel hasn't come straight out and said as much, they did issue a press release to announce that their subsidiary organisation Big Science had finally captured their troublesome explosive creation, and to boast that their new improved facilities would easily deal with a similar threat. They conclude by stating with absolute certainty that such a situation will never actually happen unless they were to accidentally create a Ms-Splosion Man in a freak accident sometime around autumn 2011.
Cryptic. Then, of course, there's this trailer for Ms-Splosion Man where exactly that happens.
So, I'm reading between the lines here, but there's going to be a Ms-Splosion Man coming in the third quarter of 2011.
Well, it's a pretty bold assumption, but yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. Of course, Twisted Pixel is also keeping itself busy with its first Kinect game, the recently announced Gunstringer.
Posting on the official game site at www.thegunstringer.com, lead designer Dan Teasdale, formerly of Rock Band creators Harmonix, describes it as a game where you get to manipulate a kick-ass undead cowboy puppet through action-packed stage performances. He's keen to stress the performance aspect with fellow puppet actors and props used to tell a tale of revenge that features action, drama, and in Dan's own words, mildly creepy puppet love.
As the first trailer shows, the puppetry mechanic is perfectly suited to Kinect, allowing you to target enemies with both hands in the on-rails 3D sections and maneuver your zombie cowboy in a completely unique way through traditional 2D platforming levels.
Dan, not you, promises plenty of updates on the official site and says they will attempt to answer any questions tweeted to the Twisted Pixel Twitter account @twisted_pixel. We're hoping to get some hands-off time with Gunstringer later this month, so make sure to check Inside Xbox with boundless zeal every single day.
O0AG0O just really wants to know what's going on with Brink, he says.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's gone a bit quiet lately, hasn't it?
Well, Splash Damage's runny, jumpy, slidey, shooty shooter is still on the way and has a confirmed release date now of 20th May in Europe and the 17th of May in North America.
In fact, Bethesda has gone release date crazy, tossing them around like bread rolls at a food fight. We've got fantasy action game Hunted coming out on the 1st of June in the States and 3rd of June in Europe. Rage, the vehicle combat/shooter game from legendary developers id Software, coming away on 13th of September in the US and the 16th in Europe. And as we've all had repeatedly battered into our heads, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim coming on 11/11/11.
Oh man, that's going to be a glorious day.
You mean the day when the question, when is Elder Scrolls V coming out, is replaced with the question, when is Elder Scrolls 6 coming out? Yeah, exactly. And that's it for this week's show. We'll see you next time. Well, Dan will. I assume I've been replaced on a permanent basis.
Actually, I think I might let Isaac go. He brought this giant stone marker into the office with him. It's really messed up the feng shui of the place.
What, a marker like the ones in Dead Space that cause entire space stations to be overrun with hideous necromorphs?
Yeah, that's the one.
And you don't see a problem with that?
Well, like I said, the feng shui's right off.
Man, not this again!
What? Where are you going? God, and he wonders why I'm looking for a new co-host. So unprofessional. Well, he's off doing whatever's so important that he had to abandon the show. I'll announce the winner of our Homefront Parent AR Drone Twitter competition. It's Gary Jones from Oswestry in Shropshire, who said, "I'd spend my battle points on pink camo gear and sequins. War doesn't mean you can't look fabulous." Well done, Gary. We'll be in touch soon so we know where to fly the drone to. As ever, keep those questions coming into the gamertag Sent You a Message, our email account sentyouamessage@hotmail.com, our Facebook page at facebook.com/sentyouamessage, or our Twitter account @sentyouamessage. See you next time, everyone. Where is Andy? Andy, I'm getting scared!